What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. In this video, I've got another very important AMC update to bring all of you this evening. So what we're going to be covering in this update is a little bit of the Ortex short interest and utilization data, talking about those cost to borrow numbers, what the short interest is like right now, and just how many shares that they have kind of in their back pocket to sell into the open market at any given time to try to attack us. Very similar to what we saw today. We're also going to talk briefly about the max pain. But there's been a question that I've been receiving a lot of over the last couple of weeks and months when we've been seeing AMC start to sell off. And that question is AMC, this whole squeeze situation with AMC, GameStop, a lot of these other squeeze stocks, is it over? Now, I understand the pain that everybody is going through right now with where AMC is at right now. I'm feeling it too. My average is at 26. It's not fun to see the money in your account deplete by that amount in such a short period of time. But what we're going to be talking about in this video is kind of everything from a broad perspective and just kind of reiterating the points that we've been trying to drive home for the longest amount of time. In short, no, I don't think that this AMC GME squeeze situation is over at all. We have high short interest. They are continuously trying to push this stock down every single day. We have the fundamentals of the company getting better. We have the box office numbers starting to come back online. And I know when we talk about fundamentals, you guys don't really like to have that conversation because you think it's a squeeze play. But then people start to talk about what we want, dividends. In order to get to that dividend spot, we need to be able to pay off debt, increase the fundamental value of the company in order to get to that point to put some more pressure on the shorts. And when we think about the kind of macroeconomic environment right now, we're going to go over a couple of examples of this, but lots of stocks are getting absolutely pummeled right now just due to the catalyst and the overall way the market is reacting to a lot of the different news pieces and the different types of ways that the news is kind of presenting their analysis in the overall market. So before we get into all of that information, if you enjoyed the information and analysis that I provide for you in this video, make sure you go down and hit that like button. It costs you nothing to do it, but it really helps us out a whole lot in getting this situation out or this information out to as many people who want to learn. And if you guys want to see more videos like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video. And again, guys, with the way that the market is right now and with the way that AMC has been kind of reacting, we do have that 1348 strategy for you guys to learn and use to make some money on the side so that if you do want to buy these tasty dips on AMC, you can. Or if you just kind of want to get your account value back to less red or even green overall, you can do that as well. It's a very powerful strategy that a lot of people are taking advantage of. So make sure you check out that link to the Discord down below in the description. So AMC today down another 5%. We closed the day at $13.56 with GameStop with earnings coming up at the end of the week down about 15%. Now this morning when the market opened up, we just saw an absolute onslaught of shares getting sold into the market. We hit a low of about $12.92. And what was the high today? $14.16. That is a massive range. Now coming over to the Ortex data over here, we've got, quote, 100% utilization. Sort of. We are seeing the cost to borrow step up a little bit, but we're going to need to see that come up a lot more in order to kind of see the pressure get put on the shorts. We need to see 5%, 8%, 10% on these cost to borrow numbers to really kind of think, okay, well, now they're really bleeding out on these short positions. So we also have the short interest right here at 20.73%, 106.79 million shares estimated to be sold short. Shares on loan, 128-ish million. So they've got about 21 million shares that they can kind of sell into the open market to really try and push this price down. And I think we saw a lot of those come in today. Now, when we come over to the max pain, we do have max pain at about $20 this week. But when you think about the market makers right here, max pain, how I like to think about it is kind of a range. They want it at max pain or below. And when you can break up above max pain by a certain amount, that's when they start hedging those calls. And just very quickly, when we take a look at the AMC options chain for this week, there is a boatload of puts in the money right now. If we can somehow start to rally up, get some of those puts out of the money, yes, that is going to provide some more buying pressure into the stock, but we are going to need to see that price movement to the upside in order to even get to that extra buying pressure point. Now, let's get into this situation on, is AMC done? Well, a lot of people, the shills in the live chat, everybody kind of in mainstream media is kind of just trying to laugh at the apes at what they're doing here. But what they seem to forget is all of the different things that have come out about the market since we've started here, none of these other new transparency rules or anything kind of coming out with payment for order flow would have started to come out without us being incredibly loud on our different media outlets. But that's not really the most important thing here for this video. So when we come over to the box office right here, this is just a quick indication of what we're looking at here. So right now, we've got about a domestic box office of about 1 billion. So it's 1.08 billion US dollars. The number one releases we can see over here, The Batman. So we're not even into or completed the first quarter of 2022 yet. We still have Batman cranking. We're most likely going to be on pace to really kind of take control and beat those 2021 numbers. Very, very good sign to see. The other thing is AMC's most recent earnings report that I think a lot of people kind of glanced over. The one thing that I really want to drive home here is the fourth quarter adjusted earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. It was positive, improved 486 million to positive 159 million compared to an adjusted EBITDA loss of 327 million for the fourth quarter of 2020. This is a giant step in the right direction. Now, I know people don't really like to talk about the fundamentals of the company because you think it's a squeeze play. The problem is that the shorts are in this based on the fundamentals of the stock. Now, the shorts also have much more money than retail investors do and can strategically place these bets in these sales going into the market in order to try and manipulate the price. Cool, we know that. But this situation is going to take time to play out. The way I think about this right now is that the market is supposed to be efficient and kind of reflect all available information about any given security or a stock. And AMC is not really doing that right now. We're continuously seeing good news start to come out. AMC getting into the popcorn business, a super high margin business. We're seeing their earnings continue to get better. The movie theater slate for 2022 looking really, really strong. And with comments from Adam Aron that are saying, hey, maybe not look so closely at Q1 of 2022 for where we're going to be heading, but Q2, Q3, and Q4 are supposed to be really, really solid. Those are some really encouraging words from the CEO, no matter what you think about him right now. So the fundamentals of the company are getting better. Yes, they do have a lot of debt right now, but they have refinanced that debt, they have a lot of cash on hand, and they are ready to kind of increase their earnings in order to kind of pay off that debt whenever they see fit. And remember last year in the Q2 AMC earnings report, Adam Aron said, basically word for word, at this time next year, which was around July, August, we could start to consider paying off a dividend if everything kind of goes as planned. So this can take a long time to play out if dividends are going to be the squeeze catalyst, but we kind of are getting into a good spot with where the company is fundamentally, and it is only going to continue to get better. But the other things that we need to think about over here is what is going on with the overall stock market. I know a lot of people don't like to hear this as well, but the overall stock market, if AMC is not going to really get that imbalance of essentially demand into the stock, they're going to move with the overall market. We are seeing right here, inflation rate hits new 40-year high of 7.9%. Now, when you think about these inflation numbers right here, you might think, well, inflation should be good for assets in some of these more risky assets, and they should continue to go up. But we've already kind of seen these inflationary pressures kind of get baked into stock prices over the last 2 years. So when you start to see us kind of coming out of the pandemic time, in this week when we have Jerome Powell coming up and most likely going to kind of decree a 25 basis point rate hike, well, we're going to start to see those inflation numbers start to come down. Higher rates kind of leads to a rotation from growth or risk into less risky assets and more value stocks. So that is one of the other reasons why we're seeing the market kind of freak out right now. And we have this new Russia and Ukraine conflict that essentially, as we can see right here, the conflict status is worsening and it's continuing to kind of weigh on our markets, and the uncertainty with what's going on here is kind of driving markets down. When you have all of these bearish catalysts right now with the overall market, and we're seeing kind of new outbreaks start to pop up over in China right now, well, it's not necessarily AMC's fault that it's going down. It's just the overall market is dragging it down. And I've been saying this for a while. This situation could take a long time to play out. And I know that's not the thing that you want to hear right now. I get it. I'm probably in a different situation than a lot of you guys out there. I'm a 22-year-old college student. I'm perfectly fine with holding this position for as long as I need to in order to see this start to play out. And you guys have to do what is best for you at the end of the day. We were talking about this on the live stream today, and somebody said, well, it's not just all about you. But for me personally, in my position, it is all about me. And for everybody and all of you guys watching this video right now, it's all about you too, and exactly what you feel and what research you have personally done to kind of figure out your investment thesis for AMC. In my opinion right now, if they dropped it to 5 or if they ran it up to 40, it would not change anything in my mind, except for maybe potentially making a decent amount of money on some of the options that I've been holding for a while. That is the only thing that is really kind of the difference if we're to see those big price fluctuations to the upside or not the downside, but just to the upside. So when we think about this here, I think of this investment in AMC as binary. It's either we've squeezed and it's time to sell, or we haven't and I'm going to continue to hold. Because when you think about it, nothing has really changed, and everything that has changed has been bullish and positive catalysts for the stock that, in my opinion, have not yet been reflected in the share price. So that is going to wrap up this update on AMC. If you enjoyed the information and analysis that I provided for you in this video, make sure you go down and hit that like button. It costs you nothing to do it, but it really helps us out a whole lot in getting this information out to as many people who want to learn. And if you guys want to see more videos like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video. So I hope you guys are having a great evening, and I'll see you guys in the next video.